What's brackin' YouTube? Today we're going to be doing yet another dying / dead trend. That's right, we're going to be doing a tier list. Why am I in the middle of the desert? Wait a minute, I'm in Mos Eisley! So by now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen online the new real lightsaber that Disney Parks is reportedly going to use in their hotels or some shit. It like comes out of the handle and everything, and it's supposed to be this great technical achievement. To me, it just looks like those spring-loaded lightsabers that they tried to sell the kids, but they're so big that no kid could actually use them. So hopping on that bit of news, that's right, today we're gonna be doing a tier list based on lightsabers. Not lightsaber fights or any of that bullshit, because everyone else has already done that. Lightsaber hilt designs. So what I've done is I've handpicked a selection of lightsabers spanning all across all 9 movies, and I'm going to rate them on the standard tier chart that I have behind me right now. That I can't see because this is all a green screen. Notice how I said movies also. We're only going to be talking about lightsaber designs from the Skywalker saga. Movies 1 through 9. None of that Clone Wars shit. None of that Mandalore. I don't even know if they have lightsabers in The Mandalorian. None of that spin-off TV show, novel, comic book bullshit. Because they've clearly established that they can just do whatever the fuck they want. Like, why did they put a blaster in a lightsaber? That negates the whole fucking point of the lightsaber! I gotta get my notes out. I put my notes on my phone like a true professional. So let's get things started. I'm gonna go in chronological order, starting with everybody's favorite Star Wars movie is Episode 1. I don't know anybody that doesn't like this movie. What's your favorite part? My favorite part is...
My lord, is that legal?
Let's start off with a great design. Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber. Oh, it's so good. It's sleek. It's simple, yet bold. It's the dark side of the moon of lightsabers. And it's so comfortable to hold. Whether you're holding it with one hand or 2 hands or the replicas or even the shitty plastic versions that they sold for like $7 at Walmart. You know, when you pick up that saber, that is like the best saber that you've ever felt in your life. Put that in S. That deserves to be an S tier lightsaber. Next we have Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. This is the first of many lightsabers that he had because this fucker cannot stop dropping them. While you're watching the prequel trilogy, take a shot every single time Obi-Wan Kenobi drops his lightsaber. So this is the first design that he ever had, and to be honest, it's pretty good, honestly. It has sort of some of the same elements as Qui-Gon's. I like these weird black vent things on the top of the emitter. I think those are cool. What I don't like is the pommel. What the fuck is up with that pommel? It sticks out like a sore thumb. It's impossible to hold. That pommel is honestly the deal breaker for me. I just can't with this goofy piece of shit. And also, it's impossible to replicate if you're a fan. You know, I used to go on those websites that were like, you can make a lightsaber out of hardware materials. Here's what you need to get at Home Depot. They always tried to make the Obi-Wan Kenobi saber because it's one of the easiest ones to build, and every single time they get the pommel wrong. Or they just give up and they don't even do anything. That knocks it down quite a few pegs. I'm gonna put that in C. Yeah. Okay, so who wants to talk about Darth Maul? When The Phantom Menace came out in 1999, nobody had seen a lightsaber like this before. All the other movies had lightsabers that were just pretty standard fare. Laser sword. Here's the hilt, here's the blade. Beyond personal customization, there wasn't really anything different about them. Until this movie came out and we got introduced to the double-bladed lightsaber for the very first time. It's not really my thing. I don't mind the design. In fact, I think the design looks pretty good. But I don't like how long it is. You know, very, very long designs just really aren't my thing. They just kind of remind me of the toys. Also, I don't know if it's actually just one long piece or if it's two pieces joined together by a coupling. I know that the replica sabers are just two pieces joined by a coupling, but I am unable to verify if the entire thing was just one long piece. If you know the answer to this question, please email me at put it in B, simply for the fact that it was a revolution for its time. Next is Episode 2. Episode 2 had a lot of lightsabers, and not ones that we really got a good look at. There's way too many lightsabers to count in this film. So I'm just going to focus on characters that we know, like primary characters. Let's start off with who's supposed to be our main character throughout all this, Anakin Skywalker. This is his first lightsaber that unfortunately got cut in half and crushed to pieces in the Geonosian droid factory. This lightsaber is so underrated and just underused. It's appeared in one movie, and then it got broken, and we never saw it again. Replicas and toys of this are like practically non-existent. I think the only proper replica made by a legitimate, like, Lucasfilm approved company was when MR did their very first FX sabers in 2002. And by today's standards, those sabers are very shitty. I think it just looks cool. I'm putting it in A simply because I think we need to see more of it. Moving right along to Count Dooku, another first for the Star Wars saga, a curved lightsaber hilt. And I think this lightsaber design perfectly suits the character that Christopher Lee portrayed. It's nice and elegant, but it has these like darker, eviler tones to it. The only part I don't like about it is this weird shit that sticks up from the emitter. What is that? What is this shit? I have no idea. Is it like a bayonet? So when you like stab somebody with the lightsaber, are you supposed to stab them a second time with the bayonet? I don't know. Maybe it's just there for decoration. In fact, I think that's exactly why it's there. It's pretty good, but it's not good enough to be with the other ones, so put it in B. But now we get Mace Windu's lightsaber. Perfect. Now, when Samuel L. Jackson was cast as this badass in Star Wars, he knew he was going to be doing a lot of fighting, and then he didn't. In Episode 1, he didn't do shit. He just sat around in a chair. But when Episode 2 came around, he knew he was going to have to do some fighting. And he said, "Hey, George, can I have a purple lightsaber?" And George said, "Okay." And then we got this shit. The gold accents. It's so elegant and sleek. There's nothing sticking out of the handle, no awkward shit to move your hands around. It's just, and it's purple. And it's fucking purple, which is like #1 on the top 3 colors. Put that in S. Immediately put that in S. Well, that's it for Episode 2. Let's move. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck, I forgot about Yoda. So Yoda uses the lightsaber in Episode 2. And barring the fact that this doesn't fit in with his character at all, and that it looks hilarious watching a little PlayStation 2 goblin bounce around this hangar bay, I hate the design of the saber itself. For one, they made it shorter to fit inside Yoda's tiny little baby green hands, and that's not really an issue, but they didn't change the thickness of the hilt. So it's still the same thickness, it's just shorter, which results in it looking very stubby and very not attractive. Their activator box isn't really an activator box because it's just a normal button inside this rectangular plastic shroud. So what the fuck was the point of making an activator box in the first place? Put it in D. Yeah, it's not the worst lightsaber I've ever seen, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. Fuck it. Moving right along to Episode 3, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi's third lightsaber, because he lost the other one, and the second one got taken from him. I don't know where it is now. It's probably somewhere in, like, Count Dooku's bedroom. But this saber features a lot of design changes that I really like a lot. For one, they fixed the pommel. They kept the same design, but they made it flush with the hilt. You can actually hold it. They also moved the activator box from the middle of the saber down to the more towards the bottom, which is good because that means you can use both hands to grip more towards the top of the saber. The only thing I really don't like are the grips. Maybe it's just the versions that I've been handling ever since I was a kid, but the grips are just too plasticky, and I don't like them. See, if I don't want to hold the saber, then it's not a good saber, I'm sorry. To round out the prequel trilogy, we have Emperor Palpatine's lightsaber, or Darth Sidious, or Sheev, or whatever the fuck his name is. Now, this saber gets a lot of praise online. Apparently he has 2 of them. I guess in the Clone Wars he made like a replica, and he uses both of them. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I think the saber's fucking awful. So, it's shorter than any other lightsaber hilt, much like Yoda's. But unlike Yoda's, which has a much shorter blade, the blade on Palpatine's is the same length as any other saber, which means that it looks even worse. The weight is offset by the length of the blade. And yeah, lightsaber blades don't have any weight, you know, but in the real world, they do. In the real world, they're plastic tubes filled with LEDs, and plastic tubes filled with LEDs that go up like that with a really short hilt, they're gonna fall down. Why did he make it that small so he could hide it up his sleeve? Has he been holding that lightsaber up his sleeve for the entire time he's been in office? If that was the reason, why did he make 2 of them? Ugh. Just put it in D. Put it in D. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Fuck this shit. We're moving on to the originals. Let's start off the original trilogy with the tried and true, the classic Luke's, Anakin's, Rey's, I don't know who's to call it, but I'm just going to call it the Graflex, because it's made out of a Graflex flash gun. The Graflex is the most recognizable lightsaber hilt of all time. When you think of the word lightsaber, that hilt instantly pops into your brain. It's a bit clunky now that you're looking back at it because of the whole activator box, and the grips are pretty chunky and not really that good to feel. But hey, it's the first ever lightsaber that was ever made. It's the first one you see on screen. I think we can excuse the clunkiness of it for just this once. The saber went through a couple design variations throughout all of 7 of the 9 movies that it was in. You got A New Hope, Empire, which didn't really change a lot. You got the Episode 3 version, which personally is my favorite. Half because of nostalgia and half because I think it just looks a lot more alien and foreign than the originals do. And then the sequel trilogy just copied the Empire Strikes Back design and called it a day. Put it in A. It's not quite S tier because it's a bit clunky. It's a piece of history, and I think that we should accept it as such. We already talked about Obi-Wan's saber a while ago, so we don't really need to talk about his Episode 4 saber. There really isn't that many changes. I think the copper got tarnished with time or something. Darth Vader's lightsaber got introduced for the first time. Functionally, it's just the same as the Anakin Episode 2 saber, but with the black emitter. And I think it looks badass. It also had a couple of design revisions over the years. They completely rebuilt the fucking thing for Return of the Jedi, and they added this weird button in the middle of it, which I don't know what it's supposed to do. But at least it's not as shitty as the Episode 3 design. What the fuck is that? What the hell did you do to this thing? You already redesigned it, and then you redesigned it again to look like this. This. What is that thing? Is that a touchpad? Am I gonna scan my fingerprint on it and unlock it like a goddamn iPhone? They shouldn't have redesigned it, but they did. And so now we're left with this fucking monstrosity. Put it in F. Put it in F. You know, that design alone. The Vader's lightsaber, as a whole, it's functionally the same as Anakin's Episode 2. So I think we should put it in the same tier. What was it, B tier?
A tier?
Yeah, good. But the Episode 3 one goes in the fucking trash because of how terrible it looks. Okay, let's move on. Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi is probably the greatest lightsaber design of all time. Of all time. Look at this shit. They fixed the grips. And it's green. Remember when I said that purple was number one? Fuck that shit. Green is number one. I take back everything I said. It's the first time we ever see a lightsaber that's not blue or red. And the fact that they chose green, best decision they ever made in their goddamn life. Put it in S tier right now, because that deserves to be an S tier saber. What a great way to end the entire Star Wars saga. Oh wait, we still have to talk about the Disney ones. If I have to talk about the sequel trilogy, let's at least start off with the lightsaber that I like. So let's start with Kylo Ren.
No.
Everybody on the internet, when episode 7 was announced, they fucking hated this lightsaber because
the crossguard lightsaber doesn't make any sense because if you slide the blade down, it would just cut the emitters off.
okay, well listen here, dipshit. The entire lightsaber blade is one solid piece, including the 2 side pieces. And even if it's metal that you could cut through, which I doubt Kylo Ren is that much of a dipshit that he would do that, you would still just hit lightsaber blade anyway. So the crossguard still works. And you know what? I think it's badass. It looks great. I love how like grungy and nasty it looks with all the different wires coming out and all the different parts put together. I got to hold like a Force Effects one of these and it felt really comfortable. It actually felt really nice to hold. So that's an added plus onto that. I think we should put it in A tier. Yeah, I love it. If you don't agree with me, that's okay. Because you're entitled to your own opinion. But also, fuck you. There weren't any new lightsabers introduced in episode 8, so I'm just gonna... I think actually they destroyed one. Yeah, they destroyed one, so we're gonna move on to episode 9. So, Princess Leia had a lightsaber, did you know that? She doesn't actually use it in the movie. It's in a flashback sequence, and it's kind of integral to the plot, but she never actually is seen using it. You know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm thinking. You're probably thinking it too. This looks like the fucking Lego lightsaber. It looks like a Lego lightsaber. They should have just gone all the way and made like a realistic looking Lego lightsaber. I think that would have drawn me into the movie a lot more if I saw fucking Ben Solo fighting with that. What is it? What else is there to say about this? It is the most bland lightsaber design you could possibly come up with. There's nothing to say about it. It's alright. This is just too bland for me to comment on. So I'm gonna put it in that. Finally, to round this all off, we have Rey's lightsaber that she builds on her own. Not Anakin's, mind you. It looks like shit. Why didn't she build that at the beginning of the movie? You had a perfectly good setup for why she would build another lightsaber. Because Anakin's got fucking destroyed. So then why would you just rebuild that one and then just save making your own lightsaber for the very end? All she does is take it out, turn it on, look at it, and shut it off. I can rant on and on about how much I fucking hate episode 9, but it looks like shit. I'm gonna put it at the bottom. I don't like it. I also don't like the fact that this is the first time you ever see a yellow lightsaber blade in the movies, and we're probably never gonna get that again. We're never gonna see a yellow lightsaber blade again because of this bitch. So there's the list. If you agree with it, you can comment about it. If you don't agree with it, you can also comment about it. If you're somebody who actually has sex and therefore doesn't spend endless amounts of time talking about lightsabers on the internet, you can go do whatever you do, I guess. As for me, I have to get out of this weird void that I've gotten myself in.
Welcome to Yoda's slimy meadow. Pay for sexual favors.
Fuck it, this'll work too.
Do anything you want
See ya.
for 100 public credits. I will.